You've been told to do clamshells and leg lifts for the pain on the side of your hip, and the exercises aren't really helping. If you want to isolate and target the side of your hips, or specifically your gluteus medius, you may want to try these exercises in this video and ditch those clamshells and leg lifts to get better results. The traditional leg lifts and clamshells may not be working for you because something that tends to get overlooked is that your gluteus medius muscle actually has an anterior and a posterior part, and that means they also have slightly different functions when your hip is in different positions. Your anterior gluteus medius muscle helps to flex and internally rotate your hip, and your posterior gluteus medius helps to extend and externally rotate your hip. When working together, both the anterior and posterior parts of your gluteus medius work to abduct the hip, which means raising it up from the side as well as to control and stabilize your hips and pelvis. The first exercise is the seated banded hip internal rotation. So with this exercise, you're going to have a ball or a yoga block, and then you're also going to have a loop band. So with the loop band, you're going to tie it at your feet, and then with the ball, you're going to be squeezing it at the thighs. So to do this exercise, I want my clients to cross their arms and then squeeze your knees together. Pull that band outwards into hip internal rotation and hold it for a few seconds and come back. Again, squeeze that ball, core is engaged, sit tall. Pull that foot out to the side, hold it for a few seconds, come back. You can also do repetitions as well. So with this exercise, you want to feel this in your gluteus medius, and this works the anterior portion of your gluteus medius. So with this exercise, you want to do 3 sets of 10 to start. So this exercise is called the side plank dips. It's very common to see a side plank and you're working on this top leg when you're doing a side plank to work on the gluteus medius. But with this exercise, we're going to put our focus onto our stance leg, which is the bottom leg when we're coming up into the side plank, because what we're trying to do here is to target your gluteus medius in a closed kinetic chain. A closed chain exercise is typically a little bit more functional than an open chain exercise, and that's why we've decided to include this exercise into this video today. So with the side plank with dips, the regular version is going to be up onto a side plank like so. And then like I said, we're going to be working on that stance leg at the bottom. So you're going to dip that hip down and back. Dip, back up, dip, back up. So you want to try your best to keep your core engaged, and you're working using that bottom leg to dip it down and back up. If this is too hard, you can do this on your knees. This is a regression down, and you're going to be on your knees, and you're going to dip, come up, dip, come up. And again, you're working on that bottom leg. If you'd like to still keep this bottom leg bent, a slight progression of this exercise would be if you were to keep this top leg straight. Sometimes you can just even hold this. I already feel this right here really strongly in my gluteus medius, the side of the hip. This would be an isometric exercise. If you want to make it even more challenging, you can then do the dips. So dipping would be like so. So if you're doing the dips, I would recommend that you do 2 sets of 8. If you were to do the isometric hold, I would hold it for 30 seconds as 1 set and do 2 sets of that. The third exercise is the standing leg lifts. With this exercise, we're wanting to work on that stance leg, and we're not working on the top leg. Typically, the traditional gluteus medius exercise would be you're lifting the leg up to the side and you're working on this top leg. So you don't really care what this leg is doing at all. But with this exercise, we actually want to be working on that stance leg because we want to keep the function of our exercises in mind today. So this is our working leg, a weight on the side of our leg to help us to add a little bit more resistance. And to make sure we're working on the stance leg, you want to make sure you are in a straight line and you're not leaning with your torso. You can definitely hang on to something. You want to keep your body as straight as you can, and then with the weight at the side here, lift up the leg and come back down. lift it up, come back down. The goal of this exercise is to not lean with your torso, and you're gonna keep yourself completely straight. So you can have something super heavy here. If a 10-pound plate is too light, feel free to use a 45-pound plate, a backpack, or a duffel bag, a camping bag, whatever you've got laying around. Keep your torso straight, hold it for a few seconds, come back, hold it, come back. I already feel a burning sensation on my gluteus medius. Keep both legs straight. And keep your body as straight as you possibly can. And with this exercise, you want to hold it for 4 seconds at the top for each repetition, and you want to do 3 sets of 12. So putting it all together, our final exercise is the lateral step up. This exercise is amazing because this helps to target our gluteus medius as a whole, targeting both your anterior and your posterior fibers of your gluteus medius. You can always play around with the height of the step of your choice. So right now I've got a bench here. If this is too high, too low, you can always adjust to it accordingly. The goal of this exercise, again, is going to be to keep the hips level, and I'm going to try to demonstrate this to the best of my ability, but this exercise is a hard one if you're trying to keep those hips as level as you can. This is your step up part. Come down slow, step up, come down slow. And your goal is to keep your hips as level as possible. A common mistake that I see people do sometimes is if their knee were kind of going caving in and you're lacking that control when you're stepping up. So that's a common mistake that you don't want to be doing. But again, this is a difficult one, so play around with the height of your step and go from there. So I typically like to prescribe 3 sets of 10 for this exercise, and the higher the step is, the harder it is going to be. I hope that this video offered you some valuable insight on why clamshells and leg lifts may not be working for you to help get rid of your hip pain. Hit the like button below to show your support, and share this video with your friends and family if they're also suffering from hip pain. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.